22.839 million was paid over by Estate Bridge, right? And it
Mm.
says that the DI notes that there is an agreement between the developers and Estate Bridge for payments to be made on a scheduled basis subsequent to the transfer of the two properties, right? This agreement is encapsulated in an addendum dated January 4, 2022 to the agreements for sale dated April 22, 2021. And you remember that there was a $36 million because it's $18,000 each, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that 22 million was paid up to 2024 would seem to indicate that there's some kind of outstanding balance,
Outstanding
right?
balance.
Right. So the DI actually talked a little bit about that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the DI, which is the Director of Investigation, it says
Investigation.
here the total cost of the properties is recorded at $36 million, 18 million each on the respective duplicate certificates of title and agreements for sale.
Mm-hmm.
DI's inquiries show that between 021 and 022, the houses in Phase 5 Stonebrook Manor were being sold for between 15.9 million and 22 million. So you had asked me about whether the 18 million was in keeping with the valuation of the
Yes.
properties. And so this seems to be one of the answers that you're looking for, which is that the
Mm-hmm.
houses in Phase 5 between 021 and 22, which is the time period when this took place, were being sold for, at it seems the low end was 15.9 million and the high end was 22 million. So we would
Mm-hmm.
have to say that it is in seemingly in the range.
It was in the range. Oh. So apart from the Stonebrook Manor and the lots up by Beverly Hills that he took, Estate Bridge, is there any account of any other properties being purchased by Mr. Holness and his confederates?
I believe that is the extent of the property purchases, right? So there is
Mm-hmm.
Shenstone in the name of Imperium.
Mm-hmm.
There is Waycliffe Close, which has 4 townhouses on it.
Mm-hmm.
There is the 2 lots at
Stonebrook Manor.
Stonebrook Manor in Trelawney, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not 2 lots, 2 houses
Mm-hmm.
in Stonebrook Manor in Trelawney. And then there is the house at Great House Boulevard, which we know about was in the 2 man and wife, Mr. Honus and his wife's name back from, I think it's '02.
But
So there's that still.
Zara, aren't you appalled that in all of these recent purchases, the wife is not involved in it?
Well, I'm not appalled. I'm not appalled. There was actually an interview or a quote at the time. I think it was by one of the major papers that had asked about where's Juliet's name type of thing. And I think he said something to the effect, Mr. Honus said that he was going to be willing his portion of the properties or whatever to Juliet Honus. I don't really understand the setup, but that is what he had said, that he would will those
Will
that
it?
portion. Yeah,
Will him property them to him wife?
yeah. So in other words, she wasn't on the actual thing, but that he would be willing it to her, something like that.
Wow.
Yep.
Let us, this is a lot, Zara. This is plenty we're looking at, right? So,
It is a lot. And, there's something else I want to bring up about this issue of registered mortgages,
yes.
which is on the issue of a loan. You remember I was mentioning to you that in 2008, the first property at Acadia, the apartment, no registered mortgage. The second one at Waycliffe Close in Beverly Hills, no registered mortgage.
Mhm.
The third one for 300,000 at Shinstone Drive, no registered mortgage. And so he's like, where did the money come from in that short space of time? So this is something that I found very interesting in the
Mhm.
report as well. So Burrito gives some kind of loan to, I'm trying to remember which
Yet
entity,
Barita gave him $50 million.
right? But what I'm trying to remember is if it was Imperium that got the loan,
I
right?
believe, I
Um,
believe, I believe it's Imperium who got it,
hold
you
on a
know.
second. Yeah, yeah, right.
Mm-hmm.
Um, okay, so there was a loan that was given by Burrito, 50
Mm-hmm.
million, and this loan apparently, right,
Mm-hmm.
was supposed to be secured by a property that Imperium owned, which would seem to be Shenstone Drive,
Mm-hmm.
right?
That is the mansion. He might use the
Yeah,
mansion.
let me just make sure that before I tell you the wrong thing. As I say, there's a lot
Yeah,
of
because
different
you
information.
remember them said that them suing for defamation, you know. So we want to be correct.
Oh goodness gracious. Yes, yes. So let me just be sure because this section on Barita was very, to me, very, when something is standoutish,
Mm-hmm.
um, yeah. So I'm trying to find out. In essence, it was not registered, right? This
Mm-hmm.
loan was not registered on the title of the the security that was being used, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which I believe, as I said before, trying to confirm it, right, in the report. But I believe that it was the same house up at Beverly Hills there was supposed to be used as
A
collateral for the
security.
loan.
Mm-hmm. Collateral.
Yeah. But they were saying that there was no kind of registration of the mortgage on that title. And they were wondering how come. And so one of the things I would tell you is that it's very unusual. Let's put it this way: it is extremely unusual for a
Mm-hmm.
loan to be against a particular property and for the mortgage holder not to register. Because if they don't register it, they're going to be in a lot of trouble if it is that the person defaults and they try to be able to, at that point, sell the asset to be able to recoup the cost of the loan.
Mm-hmm.
So that's very awkward. And I think the
It is
DI
not
saw that
something
as
that is
being,
practiced at financial institutions, in other words.
no, it is not. It's not normal, And so at some point or another, the DI actually talked a lot about this, right? And said
Mm-hmm.
that, here you have a margin loan, so called for $50 million, right? And no registration against the collateral that was used, right?
Mm-hmm.
And how come? Let me just read a part of that report that speaks to that,
Yes, read it,
right?
Manzara. We're here for the night
Okay.
now. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Jamaica call
So,
somebody with dissecting aspects of the report tonight. It's not business as usual. It's plenty we're talking about. But whilst you do that, Zara, I want to ask you
mhm,
a question, right?
mhm.
Do you know if he's paying on the loan or is it is paid off? The one for the Stone Brook Manor. You know if him pay off those loans or him paying them.
Okay, so remember it was supposed to be 36 million, and I think I just read to you a while ago that 20 something million has been paid. But what they noticed was that there was a schedule that was supposed to be like to pay off the rest of the balance. That's how I understood this. That
Oh,
there was
so
a schedule with the developer to pay off. Now, if I'm not mistaken, right?
mhm,
You're asking me a whole lot of things, but I feel like that same Chemtech development, when I went up to,
yeah.
um,
Who
let me come back
owns
to this. When
Chemtech
I,
Develop?
let me not hold on 1 second. I'm going to come back to page. Remind me of page 79. Okay, I just want to look up something,
Yeah,
right?
79. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But I feel like when I read about this is not the first time I'm coming across this name Chemtech, because I had actually driven up to the Beverly Hills property, the Wycliffe Close lot where the four townhouses were being
House,
built.
yes. Mm-hmm.
And I believe that that name Chemtech is the same Chemtech that was developing that four townhouses up there.
Oh,
Right. I
so it,
believe so. Yeah, I believe
mhm.
so. Because it's not the first time I'm coming across that name, right? I'm trying to confirm it
I
right now.
believe it's so Mr. Tolo I hear is in charge of the Kentech, but I'm not,
Tolo?
yeah, I'm not sure. I believe it is a Tolo. My research team, can you assist me, please, to confirm who are the owners of Kentech Development? Research team, please.
Yes. I wouldn't mind myself like trying to figure that out, but it's just I'm not 100% sure, but I believe that that is connected to Wycliffe Close as well. Anyway, let me go back to what I was saying regarding the
Mhm,
$50 million loan and
mhm.
whether it was registered, right? Um, it says, um,
It's a lot, Zara. You can,
it's a
that
lot.
is
It is a
59, that
when
is
I tell
not
you it's
enough.
a lot, it's a lot. Okay, all right. The evidence before the DI contradicts the above account of Barita's duly authorized officer, in that the pledged property at volume 1546 and folio 533 owned by Imperium was in fact not undeveloped but contained the residential property located at 1 Shenstone Drive. So it is the Shenstone Drive property that was
Mm-hmm.
supposed to be used, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, it says that at the time the loan was issued on March 18, 2021, Mr. Honest did not own 10,416,000 Derrimon trading shares. Um, no, that is not what I'm trying to get to. Right. There are some question marks. Basically, I think the point I'm trying to make, because I can't find everything all at once, right? But the point I'm
Yes.
trying to make is that that burrito loan deserves some look as well, right? Because
But isn't this the Barrett alone that the Integrity Commission is recommending that the FIDs to look into?
well, the FSC, I can tell you that specifically because it is saying, how can
Or the
you go
Financial
ahead
Services
and
Division?
issue such a big loan, right, and not put it on the actual registration of the title? How can you go ahead and do that? And basically, the DI was saying that the FSC, the Financial Services Commission, really need to look at that because that is not necessarily proper lending practices that could bring not just a financial institution into disrepute, but depending on the capital base and all of the various bits of it, if you continue to do that, even for bigger amounts and so on, it could present this particular financial institution on very shaky ground. And then we could have another SSL, we could have another problem that is, because a lot of the different financial institutions are connected and interconnected, and this one owns this piece of this one is
Mm,
owned by that one. And so when you have one shaky financial institution, it has a ripple effect and you could have dominoes falling. So the Financial Services Commission now is being asked to look into the issue
the
of Barita and how
practices
they go about
of what
lending.
Barrett is doing.
Exactly.
Wow. And that is going to be an alarm to us if when they go in them find any kind of traits or similarities to the practices at SSL. Wow. Make
Yeah.
me move
Yeah.
on a little.
But I think, just being judicious about how you register loan.
Mm-hmm. And I'm
Yeah.
glad you talk about the loan because I know a lot of people who would want to get a loan to start their businesses in this country. And the continuous rigmaroles that they have to go
Hmm.
through, Zara, to just get a loan and to know that the Prime Minister never have any collaterals being put up to get the loan. This look like curry favor.
Well, collateral maybe, but not registered.
Hmm.
You know? So, in other words, if it was us, yeah, you better believe it that the bank would put it on the title, right? That they are owed money, you know? So
Hmm.
the fact that yeah, it looked like to me that, yeah, there was some favor right there, son. So the question becomes, what did Barita get in return? You know?
Repeat
Did they
that.
get anything? What did Burrito, for doing this favor, get in return? One of the things I can tell you is
Well,
that when I was doing some research, his son, the same one, Adam Hones, he's in England now from my research, studying at university. But if you look at his LinkedIn page, you'll see that he also interned at Burrito. I
pardon me,
don't
Mary.
know.
Wait, Zara. Zara,
Mhm.
are you saying when you researched what Barita got in return, you found out that the Prime Minister's son what?
Mhm. No, no, no,
Zara.
no, no. I'm just making a point. I don't know what Burrito got in return for being so favorable to Mr. Honus and his
Hmm.
businesses. I don't know what Burrito got in return.
But
What
when
I
you did
am
your
saying to you,
research,
however, is that one of the things I had noticed, I was doing a little research on Adam Honus, and
oh,
Adam Honus is a LinkedIn page, and the LinkedIn page did show that he had had some kind of internship, right, at Burrito.
oh, so the Prime
Yeah, the
Minister's
son.
son
The son is
spent.
away studying at university, and I believe this is in England.
Hmm.
Oh God.
Interesting.
Yeah. So the
But
son was doing some kind of degree in England.
interesting.
I don't know what the relationship is between Mr. Honus and Burrito. I don't know what the relationship is,
But
but
are you
I
aware? I
think that
don't
that
know if
relationship
you're aware,
needs a little bit more
Sarah,
probing.
but I'm not sure if you're aware, but my investigation has suggested that a member in the leadership of Barita is to get a national award sometime in October. I don't know if you came across that, but could it be that, could it be, could it be, could it be